Hello ladies and gentlemen, we have Phobos here giving you another StarCraft 2 replay. I'm featuring my co-producer today, Gent. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. In the top right corner we have Lazarus playing as the Red Terran, and in the bottom left corner of Shakuris Plateau we have Gent playing as the Blue Protoss. This is a ladder game from the Gold League, so we are going to see some good play. We're not going to see a lot of really dorky stuff you get in the lower leagues, but you know, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this game. So at the beginning here, it's always real slow. We see the mineral gathering, and there we go. Just figured out how to do that. Yay! Let me go ahead and bring up the production tab as well. Pylon going down for Gent. A little forward. Just building SCV, not probes, my bad. Lazarus here's building SCVs. Supply depot going down. This scout is a little quick in my opinion, but then again, what do I know? I'm two leagues lower than him, but hey, I have fun playing, so what does it matter? Anyway, got another scout going out here. Don't know if he's going to be seeing some sort of cheese or just wants to check for cheese. That probe is in the base, does see the barracks drop. And looks like Lazarus does not like the scout here. Wants to get him out of there. And we see Gent try to play around that probe, getting him going around places. In fact, barracks is on its way up, as well as the gateway on Gent's side. Chrono is building here. Probes are on their way out. Do have that Lazarus is scout coming out now. Refinery going down. Assimilator, I'm sorry. No refinery yet for Lazarus. Kind of a little late, you know, still within reason to put it down if he's going for a typical build, but it is getting later and later here. That SCV is just dancing around inside the base, just kind of being a nuisance. We have the double gateway going down, and he went ahead and Gent went ahead and dropped that with the SCV able to scout that. Kind of an interesting move. We have another pylon coming down the side here, and this scout is just, you know, having a grand old time, just chilling out. We have this probe with not very much health here, but you know, shields recharge. He's coming back in, and this SCV seems hell-bent on destroying this guy. No cybernetics core from Gent yet. There we go. See the cybernetics core drop. We do have that first zealot coming out. Zealot isn't going to do a real good job chasing away these probes though, because the SCVs though, because the SCVs are faster. And it looks like he's trying to keep that guy alive. Get him! Go! 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 Where's that zealot? Come on! No! Ah, we lose the probe. And nope, the zealot needs to go that way. Come on. There we go. And it looks like they are going to get away. They are both pretty beat up, but hey, they got a kill. Do see that cybernetics core finishing. Chrono boost coming down on the Nexus here. See what Lazarus is up to. He's getting that second gateway. Finally got some gas. Getting that second refinery coming down. Did switch that command center into an orbital command and getting a third Rax here. So he's going for a very intensive bio build here. No Tech Labs reactors yet. I would almost delay this Rax here instead and put a Tech Lab or reactor, depending on which way you're going to go, and try and get some upgrades out, because Marines are very fragile at the initial start of the game. You see they only have 45 health, and without stim, it's kind of difficult to kite stuff, even a Zealot. You know, and Zealots are pretty freaking dangerous for Marines. Do have that warp gate research on its way out still, about halfway done. 2 gates still. Looks like we're checking around for proxies. Does not want to get any kind of cheese happening up in Gent's base here. Have an engineering base, so he is looking to get a couple of those upgrades. Do have those Tech Labs coming out now. Stim is on its way out. No gas for concussive shells or combat shields yet, because of that delay in the refineries. Do have supply depot coming down, and all these racks, you have three of them are not being used here. You know, this is not a very productive use of these racks. He's not managing his minerals well. I don't think it's, with reactors especially, it's very difficult to support a full racks, 3 set racks, is even much less 4 on one base. So anyway, we have a small force just taking up the ramp here. Don't want anything weird happening. We did have that probe scout get snapped pretty quickly. Wasn't able to grab a whole lot of information. Sentries are on the way out. Will be able to defend any kind of mean bio pushes here early in the game. We do have Blink being researched as well. Those two gateways are warp gates, and we have the third gateway coming out for Gent here. That Cybernetics Core is done researching that warp gate, so he's just going to sit back and chill the rest of the game, which is kind of a disappointment because really I would like to see cyber gates get used more, but the only thing they're good for is upgrades and tech trees, and once they're there, they're there. So, oh well. We do have this Nexus. Energy is spent, probably in the warp gate and Blink here. We do have that third gate is a warp gate now, and we do see a force moving out of Gent's base. This forward pylon is going to grab some low ground vision, kind of set the stage for an expansion here, and we see a pylon coming down on the other side. We do have a force moving out from Lazarus as well. And are we going to see an engagement here in the middle of the map? It looks like Gent will be the attacker here. And actually, we have, looks like we're going to go ahead and swing around each other. This sentry is going to get chewed up pretty quickly here. Did only, what is that, 20, 17, 18 damage to that Marine. My math's terrible. We do see Gent pulling back with those forces, though he wants to cut these guys off, and these guys take the long way around instead of going straight for that base. We do see him snipe that pylon, which lets Gent here pull back up the ramp, which very lucky move that Lazarus wasn't able to cut him off here. It would have been very dangerous to engage on the low ground without that choke point working in that favor. Do have a second pylon coming down here. We did see that pylon sniping supply cap Gent here for a moment. Do have this probe just start up this forge, going to get some upgrades going. And we're going to see Lazarus pull all the way back, which I don't know if I agree with. I would just have set the rally point to here or so and started pumping out Marines. But he is taking his expansion here, dropping a forward bunker. And 4 racks, no reactors, and none of these racks are being used right now. So like I said, I don't agree with all this, the full 4 racks. It seems like a little much to me. We do have 1 upgrades on the way out. The weapon upgrade is already done, as well as stim and, do we have combat shields yet? No, we have a concussive shell instead. We do see Gent moving out towards the middle here. This guy is chilling, hiding behind the Xel'Naga Tower. Let's see how long it takes Gent to realize that little guy's there. That Nexus is on its way up for Gent as it is a natural expansion. Looks like they're going to go ahead and push forward and finish that guy off pretty quickly. And looks like he's going to go the short distance straight. Nope. He's going to break around the long way, go around and try and see if he can push those forces back up the ramp. You have Blink Stalkers, and here's the engagement. Do we have a force field going down? These guys are going to get, the Zealots are getting picked off really quickly, but they are providing a decent amount of meat shield. We do see a stim and a charge from Lazarus. We see excellent Blink Micro going down from Gent. He's doing very well in pulling those guys back, but there are too many Marines and Marauders. Gent is forced to pull back, and it looks like they may get kited out. He does blink to the lower ground, and it looks like he will be able to pull away. That was actually very smart blink usage right there in the retreat, because he forced another stim from his opponent, and over time those are very dangerous. You know, this guy only has 5 health. He may health, whatever. He may have taken quite a bit of damage from units, but I guarantee at least 20 of that was from stims. Do you see this expansion up? Not yet saturated, though. Are we going to see a mineral split soon? This mineral line is overcompensated. We do see additional gateways coming down. Charge coming out for the Zealots as well. We do have that level 1 weapons upgrade, which probably tipped the tide in Lazarus' favor, seeing as how Gent has not yet acquired any of those upgrades, and Lazarus is now sitting on 1-1. Do have an armory coming up, as well as the factory and starport for Lazarus here. Planetary Fortress as naturally does not want to get pushed again like that. We see Gent getting, like I said, getting a couple other gateways. We're starting to see some saturation. No probe split though. That's just natural probe production from that Nexus. He needs to pull some of these guys off and split them. We do see the level 1 ground armor coming up for Gent here, and I would be this is very smart grabbing this Xel'Naga Tower. Going to provide some very excellent early detection if Lazarus decides to push out. But that's quite an intimidating force, about 2 to 3 times the size of this one here, and would not go well. We do have a split in Gent's forces, which is generally a bad idea for Protoss, but Gent is grabbing a lot of map control with the control of those towers. We do see have this lone Marine running down, and he got picked off pretty quickly there. He only had 5 health, couldn't even stim. We do see a probe split. This guy is saturated now. Both gas are up. Gateways are up, and hopefully we're going to start seeing some warp-ins here. Do see a robo facility coming in, which I agree with. All we've seen from Lazarus here is a lot of bio. We do have a medevac out now, which means he's starting to switch into aerial and mech units. Is getting tanks. Does have the siege upgrade as well, but that tank is not in siege position. Missile turret going down. Maybe afraid of DTs or something. But we see Gent taking this kind of aggressive stance here in the middle of the map, checking those Xel'Naga towers again. Doesn't want to get pushed again too hard. And we have an observer moving out. That's awesome. Half the battle, it seems to me, is map control. If you know what your opponent's doing, it is so much easier to plan and fight than blindly picking. So having both Xel'Naga towers for so much of the game, and now getting this observer, is going to do great things for the knowledge that Gent is going to have against his opponent. As we can see in the supply count, Gent is a little bit of ahead, but this is a pretty dangerous. It's very hard to push against a Terran who's turtled up like this. So he's going to need every unit he can get in order to push through. So we do have this observer scouting the expansion here. More forces, a lot of zealots. A lot of zealots piling up here at the Xel'Naga tower. Looks like they all wanted to dance for a moment, but you can calm down. Do we have that? We have a Colossus on the way out. We have Robo Bay researching extended thermal lances, as well as level 2 upgrades coming down for the Protoss army here for Gent. We do have level 2 upgrades for Lazarus as well. Starports, double starports. Why? If all he's building is medevacs, why wouldn't he just put a reactor on this one? That makes no sense to me, but okay. Looks like we're going to see a drop here, actually. And he's going to take the long way around, ping down, and looks like he's going to go ahead and drop in the back of the base here. Another robotics facility coming down for Gent. He was pooling quite a bit of money, so I can't argue with that. Have more medevacs on the way out. Looks like we are going to see another drop. And this guy's going to go just straight for it, but these stalkers here sitting in the middle are not going to make this happy medevac here in a moment. Does have the high ground, but with the grabbing the Xel'Naga tower, having the high ground does not protect him. So we see a blink, and it looks like this guy's going to get chased down. It is full. That was a huge investment loss. That was probably close to 1,000 minerals just got dumped down the drain. We do have this medevac making its way over, though, and Gent is continuing to bounce back and forth between these Xel'Naga towers. Looks like we saw a scan go down here. And there's the drop. How is Gent going to react to this? Looks like he's going to attempt to snipe the robotics bay. And he gets that out. Gets that Colossus out just in the nick of time. Stalkers come pouring in. Looks like this is going to get mopped up pretty quickly with all this defense here. But that robotics bay was taken down. It didn't really hurt him since he had another one up already. This base is getting nice and saturated. A lot of pylons here at the front. That is a very intense power grid there. A lot of tanks here as well. I'm not sure if Gent plans on attacking this directly or whether he's going to go for some sort of fringe movement. We do see a finished command center, so Lazarus here is planning to expand again, as you can clearly tell. You have more tanks and Vikings now. We saw the Colossus tech on the board, so we're switching from medevacs to Vikings. And we got 5 racks, with only 2 with 5 racks, only 2 with tech labs, the rest just normal. And it looks like the orbital command is going to go ahead and make its way out, take this 3 o'clock position. Do see this death ball really starting to gain momentum. It is very difficult for any race to engage a death ball like this. It mops up everything pretty quickly. But this planetary fortress, along with those siege tanks, makes for a very intimidating line. Do have those Vikings providing air support as well. The medevacs are going to provide some very nice bio support and keeping these guys long just enough to provide that inch of extra damage, which this is a game of inches, so every inch you can gain is absolutely terrific. We do see some long distance mining coming down from Gent at this gold expansion. Looks like there's no, saw a couple mules drop at this one. There's no saturation or probe split, drone SCV, they're SCVs, SCV split, but at this point in time 192 to 128 supply count, but we do see some continual upgrades coming out from Lazarus here, so this, I don't know, I think the food count's just too much in favor of Gent at this point. That's a big army. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and check this third expo for an expansion and find that it's blank. Now is he just going to bust down these rocks and tear into the side, or go around? Apparently Colossi can't go over minerals. I didn't know that. Hello there. SCVs, don't know what he was planning to do, but he got murked pretty hard. There we go. We see a lot more tech labs coming out, probably because he saw such a stalker favoring an army composition favoring stalkers very heavily, but I think that's a little misleading, because there also are a lot of zealots and sentries. This force has been pretty good at staying variable. That missile turret's going to go down, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and be able to snipe some of these tech blinks. I really agree with this tactic and using the blink technology as well as the Colossus vision to just go into the side of his base and dodge this wall completely. Excellent blink back, catching his opponent at just the right time. Excellent force fields, driving his opponents back, forcing units out of combat. This siege line is going to be very potent, very quickly. These zealots can't do a whole lot with those force fields. Looks like they are able to use their charge ability, and they are starting to knock out those tanks. This was cleaned up very quickly. This bunker is going to go down pretty quickly. There's so much firepower still here. Do have a round of Marauders out, but at this point it is, I think, too little too late. Going to focus down this planetary fortress. That guy is very aggressive, does a lot of damage, especially to the zealots. But those Colossi force down those Marauders pretty quickly, and it looks like even that one zealot is going pretty quickly. But we do see a counter drop in Gent's base from Lazarus. The four Marauders in the medevac. They might snipe that. He does cancel the Colossus that was being built there. We do see Stalker reinforcements coming in, but Stalkers against medevacs, I don't know if I agree with that. That one goes down, one down. We do have that medevac providing healing support, but Gent is providing excellent blink management for his Stalkers. Another round of Stalkers going in. These Stalkers are down, but it looks like with that extra round, these guys are going to be forced back, and looks like they're going to go ahead and pick off that medevac. He was able to clean up this expo really quickly. Another round of Marauders out, and they stem right next to a bunch of blinked Stalkers. Got a couple free shots off as they're running away. And with those Colossi, man, they're just going to tear everything up here so quickly. We do have a Dark Shrine coming out. Seems kind of late in the game for Dark Shrine, as well as a ton of gateways. Holy cow. Talk about crushing your opponent under your boot. We don't see a GG yet from Lazarus, which is kind of weird. The only reason you wouldn't see a GG at this point in the game, when it's still 146 to 17, is he's got an expansion somewhere he's hoping you don't check for another while. But yeah, this is going to get mopped up pretty quickly, and it looks like he is going to go ahead and check for that. Did he see this? I'm pretty sure he did. Oop. He is aware of that. There is something in there. There's a stalker in there actually, and it looks like Gent's gonna bring his main force in and just mop this up. See, that's just rude. Like, yeah, it's a game of StarCraft, and yeah, you both played your hearts out. He just played the better game, and I'm sorry that that you're unhappy about losing, but hey, that's the nature of the game. You can't win everything. So if you're gonna go ahead and like swear up a storm, fine. I'm sure you have a lot of friends, you know, if you treat everybody like that. And he says he's left the game, but looks like Gent hasn't fallen for it. He goes ahead and we see him taking a couple of expansions too. He doesn't let up at all. He doesn't call it game over till the score screen is up. Holy cow. Anyway, bad manners for Lazarus. Shame on you. Thank you, Gent, for letting me cast this for you. If you want to cast some of your own replays, submit them to bronzeleagueperspective@hotmail.com. Once again, that is the bronzeleagueperspective@hotmail.com. This is Phobos signing off.